What do your investment goals say about your personality? I ask this because on today's episode of the Rentvesting Podcast, I'll give a bit of an outline about the particular type of identity that actually comes along with being an investor. It's an identity that many would actually aspire to for both expansive and obvious reasons. So, let me share a little bit more about it with you. Investors are often perceived to be the type of people that understand what it means to be patient, that appreciate the value of wealth and are able to actually see it for what it truly is. And that's a tool for creating and leveraging opportunity. They're the type of people we want to be around, not necessarily for their material or monetary qualities and quantities, but because their mindset would suggest that they're likely to be the type of people that, can either create or harness or even notice opportunities in our world where perhaps others cannot. And just that alone is exciting to be influenced by. Conversations with such people I often find interesting, and the actions they take tend to have more impact, and the relationships that they create are never really short of meaningful, to say the least. There's just something comforting and confidence building about being around those that appreciate the value of investment. And within that, of course, there are noticeable differences in the personalities and the social energies of different types of investors. Be they stock investors or real estate investors, venture capitalists, the list goes on. But perhaps the most intriguing personality trait that I find, the one that can immediately identify within ourselves as either budding or seasoned investors, is the trait that suggests we either invest for security or we invest for comfort. Now, they appear to be linked at the surface level, but both are very different forms of mindset that carry with them significantly different personality traits and life experiences. And because we all invest for different reasons, there is of course no right nor wrong, only what suits the lifestyle of the actual investor. But it's critical to appreciate our individual reasoning and purpose for investing in this modern world. Those that invest for security, you can spot them a mile away. They invest for the future certainty that is achieved through strict saving and, hard guidelines to ensure they continue to meet the demands of the investment that they've actually chosen. They typically invest, in strategies and assets that pay off extremely well in the future, but, they can be restricting in the now. In its most strictest form, I guess security investors have chosen to sacrifice flexibility and versatility of lifestyle for, a future reassurance of the highest degree. Investing for security is the perfect strategy for some investors, don't get me wrong. But as the options for investing continue to diversify as the choices in lifestyle grow within it, many are beginning to invest for another reason. Those that invest for comfort may not be immediately noticeable in terms of the way that they actually conduct themselves and the lifestyles they lead, as they don't tend to subscribe to the traditional and old school beliefs about investing. You may not notice them because, they tend to be able to have the same flexibility and freedom as everyone else. They invest for financial comfort and flexibility of lifestyle in the current moment that they're actually living, as opposed to saving for a future they haven't reached yet. Comfort investors, display an appreciation for, future financial requirements, but they're also self-aware enough to realize that isn't the ultimate goal of how they, want to achieve, or what they want to achieve financially right now. And although they're continually putting money away into investment for financial growth, they continue to live a lifestyle that encourages the same flexibility and adventure that they always valued even before they started investing. They have this option not necessarily because they have more money to begin with or because they're smarter or more savvy investors, but because they invest in a way that still allows them to live within their means. They haven't gone all in as security investors, but, still much further along financially than those who, made the decision to not invest at all. They've noticed and capitalized on modern market opportunities that allow them to have their financial cake and to eat it too. and more of the modern investment-driven population are opting for a comfort-driven investment mindset, understanding that the current market conditions are more geared towards investing for financial comfort in the now, as opposed to financial security in the future. A future that now appears even more uncertain and more unpredictable than ever. So let me leave you with a few questions to ponder over. Firstly, what is your reason for investing? Secondly, what type of investor do you feel you ultimately resonate with? And lastly, how does this change an investment opportunity? And what is it about it that you will now notice moving forward? So that finishes another episode of the Rentvesting Podcast. Thank you for listening in. If you haven't done so already, grab yourself a copy of the Property Investor's Buyer's Guide. It is free. Just grab a copy through rentvesting.com.au. Check out the free resources section and we'll happily pop a copy in the post for you. I'll include a hyperlink in the podcast notes. But until next time though, bye-bye.